Hello, my name's Jane Gill and I'm a product designer, craft teacher and demonstrator for woodwear. I'm in Anaheim, USA, demonstrating at the CHA Super Show. I'm going to be showing you how to make these cute little tags, showing you some cakes, and there's a pretty verse that goes on them which you can put inside your card. But this is just a very simple idea which you can put onto presents, or you can actually transfer them onto a greeting card. First thing I've done is I've cut my own shape of tag. That can be any size you like.
Good to go.
And now I'm going to edge the tag with some powdered chalk. I'm going to use a little bit of brown, and I'm using some cotton wool to create a very soft effect around the tag. You don't need very much, just a little bit, just add a nice border. I've also cut out 3 squares, a white one, a brown one and a pink one for my layers. So the white will go on the brown and then the brown will go onto the pink, and that's where my image will be stamped to create this image here. I have my stamp already on my acrylic block and I'm using a black ink pad. I always like to test my stamp before I stamp on my original piece of card. So I'll take my square and stamp my image. There we go, nice and neat. I'm going to leave that to dry a little while before I can colour it in. So now I'm just going to layer these two together whilst that dries for a couple of minutes. Double-sided tape on the back. Stick that onto the pink. These can either be cut out or punched, depending on what you like to do. Now we're going to be colouring in our image, and I'm using marker pens. These can be any make. These ones work really well, and Woodwear sell these. I have 4 colours. A brown, a yellow and 2 shades of pink, because I like chocolate cake. So all my cakes are coloured brown. I'm going to start off with a pale pink, and I'm putting it onto a palette, and I'm going to use a paintbrush. You can use a water brush if you like. I only like my paintbrush. A tiny bit of water, and you pick up the colour from the palette, and then you can colour onto your stamped image. So this one has pink icing on it. So I just carry on round. By putting the colour onto the palette and using the brush, you get a much paler colour on your stamped image. If you put the marker pen directly onto your stamped image, you'll get a very, very strong colour. This way you can get nice shades, and it's a much delicate colouring technique. Now I'm going to switch to a slightly darker shade. Same technique, putting the colour onto the palette. A little bit of water. Pick up the colour. And I'm going to do the top of the cake. It's important not to use too much water. You can always go back and add more colour, but it's very difficult to take it away. So add it very softly, and you can go back and add a little bit more colour. And what I like to do is have the concentration of the colour on one side of my image to give it a 3-dimensional look. Now I'll add a little bit of yellow. That's going to go onto my plate. And here I'm going to rinse my brush and just drag that colour around to create that ever so such soft colouring and shading on the other side of the plate.
Well, no, I don't. No.
And then I'm going to take the fine tip of these pens. You have two tips on them. There's a brush tip, which I've been used to put the colour on the palette. And there's a finer tip, which you can use for writing. And in this case, I'm going to do some little dots all around the edge. I'm always doing this because I really like the finish. It just gives a nice frame to your picture. Don't press very hard, just a nice delicate touch. There we go.
I mean, I know I get your contact.
And now I'm going to add a little bit of brown with the fine tip again onto directly to the stamped image.
But I will definitely see before that.
I'm not going to colour that central one in because I'm going to put some decoration on there. So that's nearly finished now. So now I'm going to stick it onto my background. Again, double-sided tape. And that's going to go onto my squares here. And now I'm going to put some decoration on. You can use a little bit of PVA glue or this rubber adhesive. I'm just going to fill in the centre a little bit. And what I've got here is a little box of cut up little strips of coloured cardstock, and then I've snipped them up into little squares, and these are what I call my sprinkles. And I'm just going to sprinkle them onto the glue, tap it in gently and shake off the excess, and it adds a little tiny bit of decoration to your image. This is always the last thing to do because it remains wet for a while, and you can actually mount that onto your card or onto your tag. I'm going to put a little bit of glitter glue onto my cake. And a few drops here and there. That's what's so nice about these clear stamps. You can see exactly where you're stamping, and they're so easy to store. There's a little verse that comes with the set, and I'm going to stamp that onto the bottom of my tag. And that's going at the bottom of your tag. There we go. Trim off the excess. That's ready for the tag. And then this is going to be stuck to put the words Happy Birthday up there. Nice traditional English pastime afternoon tea. So we have our tea for two. And then you stick your cake, your layered cake, onto your tag, and there we have your finished tag, Tea for Two tag by Jane Gill.